My phone knew more about me than I did. I don't know exactly when it happened. Maybe it was gradual, so subtle I didn't even notice. A like here, a notification there, a quick check just to see the time that turned into 20 minutes on Instagram. Half an hour on YouTube, another scroll through WhatsApp, and before I realized it, the day was gone. But I thought it was normal. Everyone does it, right? Until one day a strange feeling crept in. My phone seemed to know me better than I knew myself. And that scared me. It was as if my desires, habits, and vulnerabilities had been mapped into an invisible web of data and algorithms. My feed knew exactly when I felt sad, stressed, or fragile. It knew what made me laugh, what triggered me, what tempted me to buy. More and more, I realized my behaviors were being shaped by what I saw on screen. I wasn't thinking. I was reacting. There was one night in particular. I was scrolling endlessly, feeling a hollow ache in my chest. And then a question hit me like a brick. What am I looking for here? I had no answer. I just knew something was wrong. I was becoming a reflection of what I consumed. My thoughts weren't mine anymore. I was living a borrowed life, stitched together from video clips, strangers' stories, and someone else's opinions. I began to observe myself more closely. I noticed how my anxiety spiked after long stretches online, how my ability to concentrate had deteriorated, how I woke up and went to bed with my phone in hand. I couldn't tolerate boredom without reaching for a distraction. Silence had become unbearable. And then I remembered something Pascal once said. All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. That's when I understood technology wasn't just a tool anymore. It had become a distorted mirror, one that showed versions of myself I didn't even know existed, but which were being exploited in real time to keep me hooked. And worse, that mirror was also a leash. Even when I wanted to let go, something pulled me back in. I started digging deeper. I learned how apps are designed to create dopamine loops, how a single notification triggers the brain's reward centers, how everything is engineered to capture our attention, and even more disturbing, how that attention is sold. Because if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. That realization chilled me. I had become the product. My data, my time, my attention, my mind, all extracted, packaged, and sold. And the worst part? I was a willing participant. Every day, for hours. I decided to take a break. I deleted the apps that trapped me the most. Turned on Do Not Disturb. Started leaving my phone outside my room at night. At first it was hard, like withdrawal. I'd catch myself reaching for the phone out of pure impulse even when I didn't need it. But over time the silence grew comfortable. My mind, once loud and agitated, began to slow down. I started noticing the little things again. The smell of coffee, the sound of rain, the brush of wind. I rediscovered boredom and realized it was fertile ground for creativity. I read books I hadn't touched in years. I wrote, I meditated, I wandered, and above all, I began listening to myself again. Because deep down, what scared me most wasn't that my phone knew so much about me. It was that I had forgotten who I was. I had outsourced my identity, my thoughts, my desires. I had stopped being an active subject and become a passive observer in my own life. Nietzsche once said that modern man has lost the ability to contemplate. That's exactly what digital overstimulation does. It breeds a restless, fragmented mind, always hungry for novelty, yet unable to digest what it consumes. We live on the surface. We touch everything, but dive into nothing. We are informed, but not wise. Connected, but deeply alone. Digital minimalism isn't just about using less tech. It's about using it better. It's about regaining control over our attention, about refusing to live on autopilot, guided by algorithms designed for profit. It's about remembering that the mind needs space, the soul needs silence, and humans need pause. Today I still use my phone, but intentionally. I don't wake up with it. I don't sleep with it. And above all, I no longer define myself through it. I don't want to be the sum of my clicks, likes, or comments. I want to be someone who thinks, who feels, who makes mistakes and learns, but by my own volition. In the end, what saved me wasn't deleting apps. It was simply stopping, turning inward, acknowledging that something wasn't right, and choosing to do things differently. Because true freedom isn't about having access to everything all the time. It's about choosing what truly matters. And maybe that's the question you need to ask yourself today. Who's really in control of your life? You, or the screen in your hand? If this story made you pause, made you reflect, or reminded you of something you'd forgotten, then it was worth it. Subscribe to the channel and walk this journey with me. Because sometimes all we need is a little less noise and a bit more truth.